Good afternoon, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you today on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. It is July 6th, 2025, and this will be my third video of the day, a rare three-banger. And it's an interesting idea I've been thinking about, and it might be interesting, especially if you pay for insurance, you pay for any kind of warranty or protection, service protection, that kind of thing. And I'm sitting here thinking, because I heard something online that a company might potentially sell its own brand of insurance to cover its own products. That's the idea, which on the surface may or may not seem legitimate. And I had to think about it for a second, but no, there's definitely a conflict of interest, and here it is. So what is a conflict of interest? It's, well, when a party should be neutral and it's not, basically. When a party when the role of a job or a position should be handled by a neutral or unbiased mediator or business or organization that isn't connected to one or more parties because of an interest, because of an image that would be affected, or a bottom line in terms of sales, profit, that kind of thing. And that's exactly what this is. Say you go to a dealership, a car dealership, and you buy a vehicle. Now if it's a new vehicle, you're likely to get a warranty, some kind of manufacturer warranty, if not an extended warranty. They sell all kinds of stuff, but that's different than insurance, isn't it? What is the actual difference? Insurance is a gamble on both parties. Ideally, it has been. Traditionally, insurance is a gamble when you buy it, because there may or may not be a problem, at which point you would file a claim, etc. And it's a gamble on the part of the insurance company because they're weighing their risks as far as potentially having to pay out at some future date, which obviously would affect their money. So it's almost like a casino game, insurance. Traditionally it is, and this isn't really about insurance, but it's about the conflict of interest that would be represented by a company trying to sell insurance, proper insurance for its own product line or whatever. Now, here's the problem. You can get a guarantee, you can get a warranty. These are different. Insurance is going to affect their image and their profits. They have a vested interest in not paying out, just superficially, even if it's not required. Even if it's completely neutral otherwise, consider a substantial number of vehicles that this hypothetical dealership sells get in a wreck, because it's either going to be a wreck or some kind of malfunction. That's the only reason I can think of that you would need to file an insurance claim on this kind of vehicle. So they're going to have a substantial number of claims that may get settled, at which point there could be bad press, and that's going to affect their sales. This is the conflict. That's going to affect their ability to continue to sell cars, because people are going to come in and say, wow, you guys, looks like last month you had 12 people cash in on their insurance claims. Because why? What happened? Did they get in wrecks? Why are all your cars breaking down? You see what happens. So ideally it's, outside of the building. It's some other company, some other third party. And not to go on, but we see conflicts of interest all over the place. And I think that there isn't enough attention being given to it, enough understanding, emphasis placed on the hazards of conflicts of interest, having, one person manage both sides of something that they have a stake in one side of, if you know what I mean. And we see this all the time, especially in certain governmental processes, political processes, and also commercial business, many, many times. Insurance, really, the only way it can work, the last thing I want to say, and this is almost a tangent or a parallel subject, but the only way insurance can properly work in principle is by being completely optional by both parties, the insurance company and the buyer. That's the only way it can possibly work the way it was intended initially. When you require insurance, you take the risk out of it for the insurance company. They can count on your income. They can count on business, because people aren't going to stop driving, for example, just because they have to buy insurance. So suddenly they have this expectation and actual reports of how much money they have gotten and will get next year. And they already know, which means they have no incentive to pay out. There's no more risk, there's no more gamble all of a sudden. So maybe you're wondering why medical insurance claims get turned down, because the only way you can, buy most pharmaceutical medications with insurance, right? Well, they can expect that money, and there's a very predictable, consistent trend year over year. Just like with car insurance, just like with homeowner insurance, that's also required. So you see where it goes. They don't pay out because they don't have to. What, are you gonna stop paying them? You can't. Anymore, you can't. You used to be able to. But we're gonna get back to that one way or another because, and I know it's one way or another, because it is unsustainable. Right now, the way it is, the way that business and so many others are set up in our quote unquote capitalism system, or whatever you want to call it, it's not even really that, but it's not sustainable. It's not going to continue working this way. One way or another, it's either going to fall apart or it's going to get reformed. Those are the only options. And you can ask an economist, unless they're making some fake report, they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you what I just said. So anyway, have a great night, and it is nighttime almost. I'm waiting for the sun to go down. It's about 6 o'clock right now. Yeah, 2 minutes to 6. So reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.